Kama kawa kama dawa, leo tunataka kupiga story za kupiga hustle, kwenda mboka kwa wale wase wa ghetto, kutafuta shughuli, wase wa kusaka mawera na basically is to do work and to make sure that you have yourself something to cater for your needs. And this is a special dedication. I want to appreciate all the University of Nairobi freshmen for finally joining and settling in the University of Nairobi. And this is just to celebrate all the orienters led by the orientation committee for doing an amazing job and just helping all the first years to settle. Manze, Christ the anchor. This is something that we cannot forget. Now I appreciate sana, now a big up and to all other universities who have already oriented their first years into campus. Kazi nzuri sana, and may the Lord really bless you greatly for helping this generation, the class of 2023, to join and to just wish them an amazing 4 years of experience and greatness in campus. So leo nimesema tunataka kupiga stories za kupiga hustle, kupiga mboka, kupiga hustle na kupiga work. So basically kwa wase wenye wanatoka kule ghetto, mnajua every morning ukiamka manze ni kujipiga shughuli za kwenda tao or any other place that unaendanga kupiga hustle, ndio jioni manze tuna manage kuketa for the 2-3 bills. So as you basically can see, life is something that majorly depends on our finances. Life depends on what we have to be able to buy either a particular item or just sort the bills around us. And therefore ni important kila mse, kila binadamu kujua that every single day we wake up is an opportunity manze to try get out there and just to try get something so that you are able to solve 2-3 things around you. So why is this topic important today? Ni kwa sababu manze nimegundua watu wengi sana wako destabilized in their mind, because manze, if you do not have a work to do or you're not employed somewhere, or for the family guys or even for the students and any other person in a different social class, manze, kazi ni muhimu, because this is the final or the thing that enables us to be able to live softly around in the community. So therefore without work manze, most of the time unakutanga kuna that pressure that comes with, now how do I cater for my bills, how do I get meals, how do I get to maybe move from one point to another, fair, how do I get to buy clothes, how do I get manze to pay my rent and many other things. If you look at the life of a human being, there are so many outlets and very little inlets. So therefore that tells you that so many things demand around you, vitu mingi zinataka uzishughulikie, but then you have sometimes just one inlet of your finances, or just maybe you're working in one place and you need to balance all this. So there's the need of us talking about the things that we do every day. First is to appreciate all men and women who are working so hard out there to make sure that they meet their daily needs. I want to big up all the hustlers in the country. Kuna watu wa jua kali, kuna watu wa bodaboda, watu wa mat, watu wa mjengo, and so many other areas that we most of the Kenyans really fall in. The security guys, just to make sure that they earn something out of the work that they do. We appreciate you guys and we honor you for the things that you do. The society cannot really, the community cannot exist without you people. And therefore today, just to celebrate you, and 2-3 things maybe to just talk about in this podcast is to, one, why is it so important that we need to work? One is to make sure that we do not over-depend on people around us. So work helps us to really be self-dependent. Work helps us to really cater for our personal needs and also the needs of the people around us. Also, getting into work definitely helps us to be able to get fun and entertainment. There are things and places that you will never get to see or enter without money. There are places that you basically need to have some cash for you to get in. Therefore, when we work, we have an opportunity to really be able to get the cash, and therefore we can facilitate for these things. Another reason why we need to work is because every single day we wake up with so many needs and things that needs us to take care of, and therefore when we have this cash or this kind of resources, we are able to cater for all these things very well. And also is to fulfill the commandment in the Bible that you need to work for you to eat. Therefore we try as much as possible to make sure that we do not forfeit that commandment that every single day I have to wake up just to do something for me to get something. It's always a transaction. There is no one way that you just sit somewhere and then something comes your way. You have to do something for you to get something. So it is a two-way thing. The most important thing therefore to imagine, or the most important thing therefore to consider while living on your daily life is, first of all, to try and live within your means, and I think this can be easily measured by where you work and how much you earn, so that you do not become una earn 20k in a month, but when mse unaishi life that really needs resources worth 50,000, you will realize that every other month you have a deficit of 30,000 Kenyan shillings. And you see that what that means is that you will either keep piling up loans, you'll either keep piling up the negative, and it may get to a point where you cannot really handle the pressure, and that really leads to some of the people really going through mental health and other issues of life that comes alongside with that. So therefore we need to really understand how much do we earn and how much do we really need to spend in different aspects of our lives. For example, if I know I earn an average of between 10,000 to 50,000, then I really need to know how much do I get to put in food, how much do I get to put in clothes, how much do I get to put in my studies. If I have children, how much do I need to put in that area, so that at the end of the day you are able really to balance in as much as small the money could be. And this I'm not ignorantly speaking out of this, not knowing that there are people who do not have any specific kind of hustle, and therefore there are people who are believed to live this kind of lifestyle to hand to mouth. They do not know what they will or where they will work tomorrow, but every single day they live by faith. And therefore these kind of people are the people who the little they get is what they get to budget for that day, and they wait for the next day to see what they will get, and then they will get to budget for that same day. So in that kind of a space, you need to also make sure that you consistently work hard. If you know you're in that group where you have you depend on hand to mouth, that tells you that every single day is important for you, and therefore you cannot skip a day without working. You have to be out there, and therefore you need to set your priorities right, so that if you know you belong in that class, you don't have to really engage yourselves in other things. For example, demonstrations. There are demonstrations out there, and you know very well that if you don't go to work, in the end of the day you won't have something really to eat or enough money to cater for your bills. Then therefore you need to prioritize going to work as compared to really going to demonstrations. These are very key and important things that we really need to know. It's also very important to know that around us we live, there are people who live around us, and therefore the smallest we get, we really need to share. I think this I learned in not in the most richest part of the country, I learned it in the most poorest part of the country, and that is the Langas ghetto, where most people, no matter how small they have, they still extend their hands to help to the people who live around them. You could get a family where they only have the meals, but the one thing that they have is what they get to share with those that they do not have. Therefore, even as you work within that working space and working environment, you should know that within the society that we exist and we live in, there are people who really, really are needy and they depend on us. Therefore, we should be kind to them, so that even as we work, we are able to share around that. Really, sharing is caring. So that statement somewhere, and it was so powerful. So as you go to hustle every day, mine is just to encourage you that we will get there someday. We believe that it starts somewhere and it ends somewhere. Therefore, just to encourage you, manze, shikilia hustle yako, piga hustle yako na bidii, jiaminie, jitume. And I saw also a meme amesema manze, hii October usipojituma manze itakutuma. So just work hard, put some effort, believe in God, and every day keep trusting the process that someday we're gonna get there. For each and every one of us, if you're out there and you're working so hard, manze, unaamkanga, sometimes it's rainy, sometimes you come back home very late, just to tell you that one day you will get there. Keep trusting the process, keep believing in you, keep using the little resources you have in the right way, and I believe in you that one day you will get where you have always wanted to be. Dios, shukran sana. See you next time. This was just a special episode to celebrate all the guys who are working out there, and for the people who are really not employed anywhere, for the jobless guys, we pray that things will go on well with you. There are so many opportunities out there, and if you see that there is nowhere you can be employed, then you can employ yourself. Just save for some few resources and then involve yourself in some 2-3 things that you can get to do with your hands. Probably you could dive into agriculture, you could dive into business, you could dive into the smallest thing you know that you can start doing. There are guys who are doing hawking, and just basically is to tell you that if you get to do just something with your own hands, you will quite really go far. Because what has destroyed most of us is really not having an option, and then you make your option to be either stealing or frauding people or something. Avoid all those means. believe that no matter how small whatever you're doing is, you can always climb the ladder slowly by slowly and you will get up there someday. Idiots, shukran.